¿A dónde está papi? 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 ¿A dónde está papi?
Welcome to the Tuesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Tuesday. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Yella King, Derry Bennett, Alio, Wolf Glen. Welcome, everybody. We definitely have a few things to go through today. Matt Gaetz drafted a resolution to remove McCarthy as speaker, but then left it in the bathroom and a reporter found it. No way. This is the kind of stuff that you literally just cannot make up. It almost feels like a fake story, but like knowing it's Matt Gaetz we're talking about, like, yeah, it tracks. Why having it in the bathroom seems so appropriate, of course. McCarthy has lost all control as Republicans just failed to get enough votes to start debate on the defense spending bill. The final votes is 212 to 214, and 4 no votes. Yeah, I mean it's complete chaos there. I mean, the fact that like McCarthy thought that he was gonna have a handle on this doesn't seem to be the case, and unfortunately, the only at least when it comes to like making sure that essential like government functions occur and happen, unfortunately that does have some real world implications for real people on the ground. So like, obviously the defense spending or whatever, that's like the least of the issues. But I mean, this is what happens when you elect clowns and when you have when you elect Republicans. It is what it is. When the U.S. wants a reality TV president, that's what the U.S. gets. Right? Yeah, I mean, it's not just Trump, right? It's their entire Republican Party. That's all what this is about. Yeah. Biden at the UN today. Happy Bisexual Week. I didn't know that. Well, happy Bisexual Week then. Final update on the ridiculous Lauren Boebert story. Apparently, the person she was with was a registered Democrat. So yeah. All right, folks, we have a few things to go through, and not enough time. Okay, so I see Derry Bennett ordered a dab, so I will dab. I will dab, and then we will start. I have dabbed, and now we will start. A Democrat, those damn commies. Yeah, she should have checked his voter registration. She should have checked his voter registration. I mean, like, not that it matters, because, like, they knew each other for a while now, and, like, I don't know. It just seems like these people don't really believe in anything, so it's not completely out of the realm of possibility that she actually knew, and is just playing it off, like, for the sake of, keep saving face or whatever. I don't know. It's entirely possible that may be the case. Anyways. A Democrat commie, baby. Maybe. Alright, folks. Alia with the 22 biddies. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Stay vigilant, folks. Stay vigilant because this isn't just Florida. This is happening in other places too. These people are finding themselves way too comfortable to be out in the open. And, you know, I would say that it's time, people must pay attention. People must be aware. People must be vigilant. And people must stay safe. Because this isn't going to go away that easily. And in fact, it's being seen more and more frequently. This is, by the way, in Minnesota. This is the kind of stuff that's happening with more and more frequency. Wayzata, Minnesota. Eyes open, folks. Wayzata, Minnesota on Highway 12. Multiple Nazis hailing Hitler when cars honk and drive by with diversity means anti-white signs, among other stuff. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of par for the course for these Nazis, but the point being is that it's not just in Florida. It's starting to be more and more prevalent. So definitely something to keep an eye on. All right, folks, let's shift gears to the UAW strike. We have a couple of videos on that and an article.
UAW President Shawn Fain has reacted to Donald Trump's announcement that he is going to be giving a speech to auto workers.
So just to be clear, like, Donald Trump doesn't really give a shit about workers. He doesn't care about workers to any extent. Just like how he made a comment that all of a sudden saying something about Ron DeSantis' anti-abortion thing was a mistake. Meanwhile, like, simultaneously taking credit for putting in the justices that removed Roe versus Wade. Yeah, so, no, he doesn't give a shit.
So in this video, I'm going to go over what Donald Trump is saying about this announcement. I'm going to go over his actual record on labor. I'm going to, of course, show you the statement from UAW President Shawn Fain. And then I'm also going to get to some other things, including a couple of videos from, just to compare a Democrat versus a Republican about what they are saying on this strike by the UAW. And just to show you how different these two sides are on labor specifically, while one side is pretending to be very pro-labor, or at least one candidate for president is. So let me get to first here. This is the news of Donald Trump and his planned speech. So from Politico, former President Donald Trump will speak in Detroit to current and former members of the Auto Workers Union on September 27th, the day of the second Republican primary debate, according to 3 people familiar with the plan. So before I even get to anything else, you can already tell that this is a purposely strategic move by Donald Trump. He's not going here. I mean, maybe he would have tried to do this, give the speech anyways to fake support for the workers here. But clearly, he's picking this date specifically to contrast the debate that he will not be attending. So he's trying to both take away attention from that debate while also trying to pretend, hey, look, I'm here with the working class, while all you other candidates are fighting amongst yourselves. So it's clearly a strategic.
Right. Like, make no mistake, like, Donald Trump does not give a single solitary crap about any of this. Trump does not want to debate, confusing Obama in World War II, so another speech is better than actually thinking on his feet. I mean, it's not really like with these type of things. It's not even that. Like, I'm pretty sure that he's just gonna like play the same game plan that he did last time. If he were to actually engage in any of this, like he did in 2016, I mean, I think that that will win him applause regardless. He'll just play the same playbook that he did in 2016. So I don't know, like, if that if that really matters or not. To be quite honest, he's just like David Dole said. He's literally only doing this as like a publicity stunt. That's it. This is all just a publicity stunt. Nothing more, nothing less.
Strategic move here, just based on the date he chose to do this. But more here. So Trump's team has not yet released details on where the speech will be held, but it is expected he will address over 500 union workers representing different trades, including auto workers. And while a visit to the picket line has been discussed, a person familiar said it was unlikely Trump would make a visit due to logistics.
Also, like, how many people how many people are actually going to show up to the speech? Like, how many actually, like, workers are actually going to show up willingly? That's the real question.
Like I love this. Unlikely he's going to actually go to the picket line due to logistics. The logistics being he would not be welcomed there. Bernie Sanders just gave a speech with the UAW. I have it, upcoming here in my tabs, but he just did this. So no logistics problems here. But when it comes to Trump, it's logistics. I just can't do it because you would not be welcomed because you are anti-worker. And the union is very aware of that, as are many other unions. So before I get to the response from UAW President Shawn Fain to Trump's announcement here, let me just go over a bit of the reaction to his labor record. So this is from the Communications Workers of America. I believe this was during his presidency. From reading it, probably 2019 or around there, 2018 maybe. But they go on to write, at every turn, Donald Trump and his appointees have made increasing the power of corporations over working people their top priority. The list of the damage done to the working people by Trump, the administration, is long and growing every day. Here are a few examples. So it's very long. I'm not going to read through everything here. I will link to everything below, but let me just give you a little taste. So Trump has encouraged freeloaders, making it more difficult to enforce collective bargaining agreements, silenced workers, and restricted the freedom to join unions. In case you're wondering, freeloaders means people who benefit from the protection of a union but don't have to pay into it. So Trump has encouraged that as a way to decimate unions. And they go through more specifics on those points here. He's also, of course, against the PRO Act, which was a very pro-union, pro-worker piece of legislation. Trump has restricted overtime pay, opposed wage increases, and gutted health and safety protections. And they go into more details there. He's also helped insurers reduce coverage and made it easier for pharmaceutical companies to inflate drug prices. So, again, more details and encouraged.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is no surprise that, like, Trump has given a lot of freaking goodies to corporations. So why would you think as a worker that he's on your side?
Outsourcing and offshoring, all of this stuff. There's a lot here. He's a long anti-worker record.
Hi, this is Katie Porter. I'm officially...
Example, because it isn't just,
Honestly, like, maybe I need to watch the complete ad, but Katie Porter needs to do an ad with her whiteboard. Okay? Like, maybe she could pull out the whiteboard and, like, explain her platform and just do like a commercial like that. I think that would be pretty cool.
One group saying this. This is the Chicago Laborers District Council. Also, this was during his presidency, October 2020. Anti-union actions by the Trump administration. And they go through all of them, including gutting our wages, how he portrays himself as pro-worker, but like many of his assertions is a flat-out lie. undermining apprenticeship programs, and on and on and on. Again, more details here. I would it would take all day for me to read through all of Trump's anti-union actions, but he's very clearly anti-union. There's also independent reports about this. The American Prospect, an independent outlet, going through his record here. The Worker's Friend, here's how Trump has waged his war on workers. And man, there are so many details here. Like half the stuff, more than half the stuff, I just completely forgot it because there are so many anti-worker actions that Trump did while he was president. But some of the stuff here, Trump effectively scrapped the fiduciary rule that required Wall Street firms to act in the best interests of workers and retirees in handling their 401ks, move that could cost many workers tens of thousands of dollars. Trump erased a rule that extended overtime pay to millions more workers, a move that will deprive many workers of thousands of dollars per year. While Trump boasted that he is the best friend of miners, his Labor Department pushed to relax rules for safety inspections in coal mines. So even the one issue where you may think he's on the side of the coal miners because he hates anything at all having to do with addressing climate change. Even on that, he's not actually pro-worker. He is pro the corporation.
Right.
Because he pushed to relax safety rules that would hurt the workers and help the corporation save money. And there's more. I mean, there's paragraphs and paragraphs of this. So, like, the idea that this man is pro-worker at all is completely nuts. It's completely...
Yeah, there's no basis of reality. Why would you think... who would think that a billionaire oligarch is going to be a friend to workers? I don't understand. Like, okay, I just sent you Sean Fain's comment on Twitter. Gotcha. Okay, let's see if David goes over that response. If not, we will.
Counterfactual. So let me get to and here's more.
MAGA thinks so. I mean, like, but it's not true. Like, it's delusional. It's divorced from reality. Like, why would you think that? Why would you think that an oligarch, a billionaire oligarch, is going to be a friend of workers? That's like saying that's like the literal definition of like the fox in the hen house, right? That's like the literal one-for-one analogy, like having the fox in the hen house, and then saying like, no, don't worry, the fox likes the hens. Yeah. To eat. If the propaganda is good enough, lots of people. True. Gave them people free McDonald's at one time. Hey, Zachap, how's it going? True. That's how you buy your way into America's heart. You give them free McDonald's. Trump needs MAGA for donations, right? The billionaire oligarch needs donations.
When Biden came in, he reversed a lot of those Trump orders seen as hostile to at least federal workers, but went on to do a lot more in terms of hiring people that were more pro-labor within the NLRB. He came in here and ousted all 10 of Trump's union busters from a powerful labor panel. So Biden, to his credit, and look, there are criticisms, of course. We could talk about how Biden completely crapped the bed when he came to the rail workers and that whole fight. So there are, Biden isn't perfect either. But in terms of comparing the two, I mean, it is night and day. So there really has been a seismic shift from Trump to Biden on the issue of labor. Now let's get to the reaction from UAW President Sean Fain on
Okay, so maybe he's going to go over to that.
The idea that Trump's going to be giving a speech. So in a statement, UAW President Sean Fain was not the least bit welcoming. Quote, every fiber of our union is being poured into fighting the billionaire class and an economy that enriches people like Donald Trump at the expense of workers. We can't keep electing billionaires and millionaires that don't have any understanding what it is like to live paycheck to paycheck and struggle to get by and expecting them to solve the problems of the working class. He is Not not holding back here with Donald Trump.
Dude, this guy is freaking amazing. This guy at every turn has had like the perfect response. Very, very on point. Which is exactly correct. Why would you expect a billionaire oligarch to expect them to solve the problems of the working class? Why would you elect a billionaire oligarch to do so? Doesn't make any sense.
So, being very clear about how anti-union Donald Trump is. Now, will Trump be able to scrape together, 500 people that support him that maybe, very likely, maybe were in a union, maybe retirees, but people that were in a union or around a union somewhat? I'm sure he can, because yes, there's of course a contingent of people that are within unions that prioritize certain issues over the fact that over working class issues. So yeah, I'm sure he could scrape together 500 people, but it's not going to be anywhere near the actual representation of what the union stands for or who the members actually are. So he will try and fake the support for the working class for the cameras, but the reality, of course, as I showed you, is much
right. Like the reality as it stands and the policies that he supported and enacted, they paint a different story. I almost beat the video. True.
different. Now, this is worth mentioning as well. So, Fain's tough words for Trump aren't a surprise. In a letter sent to union membership in May, Fain said a second Trump presidency would be a disaster. But Fain hasn't been overly kind to Biden either. Although Fain has at times praised Biden, he has also criticized the president for failing to do enough to help the auto workers in their cause. And he also has yet to endorse Joe Biden, even though I expect the union to eventually endorse Biden. The election's a year away, so there's a lot of time. But he's holding his endorsement right now to try and push Biden further in support of them. And it's working. I mean, Biden came out recently calling on major automakers to improve their offer to workers, saying he respected workers' right to strike. So at this point, it appears he is really trying to win over the workers here. Now, would Biden be saying this anyway, even if he already had the endorsement? Maybe. But I do think it puts a little more pressure on him to come out and speak in favor of the workers when he's trying to win their endorsement here. So good on Shawn Fain for holding out for now. I'm sure, again, as I said, eventually they will endorse Biden.
Yeah, I suspect that, obviously, if you're faced with the decision of, Biden or Trump, then yeah. You can almost write the headlines afterwards. Trump pays 500 union workers to listen to his speech at rally. Oh, man. Trump pays 500 union workers in McDonald's to listen to his speech.
As I showed you, is much worse. But I think it's a good strategic move here by the UAW. Now, this is also worth mentioning, as Shawn Fain really does not want this fight to be about, either potential president. He writes here, this is our battle. Our members are out there manning the picket lines, and our allies are out there with us. It's not about the president. It's not about the former president or any other person prior to that. So he's really making this about the workers, with their interests. I even saw a recent interview with him on television where he was pushing back on the idea that Biden can somehow come in here and broker a deal. He flat out rejected that and said, no, this is not about Biden, not about Trump. This is about what is best for our workers, and we're going to fight for that. So, which is really good to see. That, oftentimes we have seen leadership in some unions bend to politicians in a way to try and appease them, and here you're not seeing that at all. You are really seeing Shawn Fain fight the fight for his membership, for his workers, and everything else is just noise. Now, let's compare, shall we, two politicians. A Republican on this discussing this strike versus a Democrat discussing the strike. So first up is Republican Tim Scott. He is, I think, still running for president. Has he dropped out yet? I don't know. I think he's still running for president. But of course, he is a senator from South Carolina. Let me show you what he had to say about this strike.
I think Ronald Reagan gave us a great example when federal employees decided they were going to strike. He said, "You strike, you're fired." Simple concept to me.
Yeah. I mean, like, if your initial, like, thought process starts with, like, I think Ronald Reagan, like, okay, I immediately right there, complete disregard. Immediately. And polls and speeches are not votes. No. Well, no. Speeches are definitely not votes, but polls, again, are important to understand when you want to have an idea of how the winds are moving, in what directions the winds are moving, which a recent poll came out a couple days ago, again, showing that both Biden and Trump are very close at this time. Biden and Trump are very, very close. And that's not good. That needs to change. That needs to change.
Very clear position here from a powerful Republican senator, understanding no legislation would get through the Senate without his support, and also understanding that every other Republican senator agrees with him on this. This is, again, what he said here. I think Ronald Reagan gave us a great example. When federal employees decided they were on strike, you strike, you're fired. Simple concept to me. Flatly anti-worker. To show you just, and I've discussed this in other videos about the strike, but to show you just, how unlevel the playing field is here. Over the last 4 years, the big three automakers' profits have gone up 65%. CEO pay at the companies has gone up 40%. Big three spending on stock buybacks to artificially inflate their own stock, up 1,500%. Average new car prices are up 34%. Inflation is up 20%. Auto workers' wages are up just 6%. Yet Tim Scott thinks that workers don't deserve the ability to stand their ground and fight for what they actually deserve. Withholding labor is the only way that workers can get what they want. Because otherwise, what incentive is there on these corporations? They're going to keep taking and taking and taking as much as they possibly can until they're forced to act. Let's contrast Tim Scott there with Rashida Tlaib.
Hello, John. Biden tends to mumble and look spaced out during his speeches. Hello, John. What exactly does that have to do with the point at hand? Are you okay? Even Mitt said corporations are people. Right. Republicans are anti-worker, period, full stop. I mean, like, you have, like, a senator who's currently running for president, although, let's be honest, he's not gonna even be close in the nomination. But nonetheless, it's not a unique position in the Republican Party. In fact, he even quoted a revered Republican icon, which is Ronald Reagan, to basically imply that, like, you know what? If I was in that position, I would say the exact same thing that Reagan said, which is just fire him. So, yeah, no, completely anti-worker. The Republican Party is completely anti-worker, full stop, period.
Whose father was actually in the UAW. So here are her thoughts on this strike.
My dad, who came to the United States at 19 years old with only fourth grade education, different ethnicity, different faith than many of the folks that were in his community, was able to find human dignity in the workplace on a line at Ford Motor Company because he was part of a larger family called the UAW. And it was, for me, a no-brainer. It's not even... folks ask me which side I'm on. I'm absolutely on the side of the UAW. I'm one of the 14 children in my family, and folks ask all the time, how did I get straight teeth? It's because of the UAW that my family got dental care, and my dad was able to retire with human dignity.
Do you think that there's a compromise to be had here? Is there room for agreement between the union and the big three automakers?
Yeah, the compromise is that the automakers give the unions what they need. Give their workers what they need. That's it. That's the compromise there.
Absolutely. I mean, look, I don't know what compromise, folks' definition, especially corporations, tend to have a different definition for it. I can tell you this. Much of what's missing in this contract has been part of contracts since 1948. For instance, cost of living adjustment.
Hello, person that has been banned in several channels. There's Trump supporters in the UAW. She's advocating for a group that has literal fascists in it. Just wow. Amazing, phenomenal analysis here. Amazing, phenomenal analysis. Thank you. How many CEOs deserve over 600% more than any other employee? No, CEOs don't deserve that. It's an incredible list. Who's who of who cares? Phenomenal analysis, dude. Thanks.
Every single UAW contract had COLA in it until 2009, when the United Auto Workers came together and said, we're going to help you big three, stay afloat. We didn't have a tier system. The majority of UAW workers today do not have a pension. I mean, it's completely immoral and just wrong on the parts of the big three. The fact that now all of a sudden, with record profits, that they're leaving the same workers that sacrifice the most behind.
Democratic Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib very clearly in support of this strike.
Based. I think I figured out why Shawn Fain is so effective. He's not just a lifelong UAW member. He's a master tradesman, someone who knows the value of lifelong learning. Probably was the only fly on the wall for a lot of other workers. Conversations as well as a union community leader among any type of community. Yeah, I agree. Unions are far right coded. Cool, dude. Phenomenal analysis, bro. No one, dude, honestly, they're so far right that they're even telling Donald Trump to fuck off. That's how far right they are. True.
In support of unions generally. As she writes here on Twitter, the UAW workers are the reason the big three are making record profits, but the big three CEOs are now making 360 times more than their average worker. The UAW is making history fighting corporate greed. Two very different messages here. Now, of course, not every single Democrat is 100% on board with what Rashida Tlaib is saying here, but a much larger percentage of them, and you could argue the president and at least people he's hired in the NLRB are in agreement with Rashida Tlaib, based on just the complete shift we have seen from Trump to Biden. So it is a very different perspective here. And
no, bro, they're saying that they don't want an oligarch. You didn't read the president's response, the UAW's response. They said that they didn't want him there because they don't want an oligarch speaking for workers. That is explicitly a pro-worker statement. That's not because they're too far right for Trump. You're just literally making stuff up, dude. Nobody cares.
The one that has, let's be clear, has not been represented in the Democratic Party for decades. So to see this resurgence now in support of the working class, and especially a strong support here from people like Rashida Tlaib and of course Bernie Sanders, even though he's independent, does caucus with Democrats. It's important to have these sorts of leaders speak out in support of the UAW and these sorts of strikes. And of course, as I showed you earlier, Bernie was actually on the picket line there with the UAW in that fight, giving a big speech. This is just, I'm very much looking forward to seeing what Trump's speech is going to be, because you just know it's going to be total crap. He's going to try and, I'm curious what he's going to say, because he is has very clearly an anti-union record. The UAW clearly is not in support of him, and he usually, hates people that don't support him. My guess is he's going to try and blame this on leadership. Oh, this union president's, Shawn Fain's crazy. Yet he's the one that is really fighting hard for the workers. They're looking for a 30 to 40% pay bump to match what the CEOs have made. This man is fighting for his workers. So any sort of, language that Trump's going to have.
It doesn't, honestly, what Trump says really doesn't matter, because it's all garbage, right? What Trump is going to say is going to be nonsense. It's going to be bullshit. And it's going to be empty. it's going to be empty because like the actions that he took as president don't match the rhetoric if he's trying to play off this like pro worker stuff. It's not going to fly. It's not going to fly. It's not just CEOs, it's the entire executive board getting wildly inflated. Quote, compensation, true. Well, caucusing with Republicans is like talking to a flaming cinder block. True. Remember Trump said the firefighter and police unions endorsed Trump in 2020 and still lost. Yeah, but I don't think that in comparison to like some of these other like large unions, nah.
Trying to criticize the UAW leader it's not going to fly. But I guess we'll see next week when he attempts to give the speech on the same day as the next GOP debate.
Yeah, and like he can't really criticize the union boss because then like how is he supposed to play off like the pro worker bullshit that he's going to try to spew? So he can't really criticize the union boss. And he also can't credibly talk about workers' issues or show support for the strike because it's just going to be empty words. His actions as president when he was president are completely the opposite. So yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what the point is of Trump even trying to go there. Anyways.
Look, people have made this point that Joe Biden really sold out the railway workers. But simultaneously, we also know that his administration, via the National Labor Relations Board, has done more to empower unions. And I'm not saying that that is the most important aspect of union power. I mean, union power comes from the union members. But the playing field has been uneven for decades for union members, and the National Labor Relations Board is slowly changing that. One of the things that Dan told us on Friday was in the wake of the CEMEX ruling, which allows for unionization much easier.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. One could even say that was pretty poggers. One union I would love to see Trump try to get is the nurses union. Hello, person that has also been banned in several channels. Jesus, did the freaking circus end early? Jesus.
The next step is how do you enforce contract negotiations with management once the union is established? And Abruzzo...
Are you stalking me? No. As you can see, which I hope you can read, I hope you have the ability to read, this is a universal bot that is in a lot of lefty and left-leaning channels that kind of, we're all kind of synced because it's all one bot. I mean, you understand that, right? Red Dredzy, I can't separate Sam Cedar from the voice of Hugo. I mean, he is. He is. Why are you interested in users that were banned? I'm not. You came here. In fact, it's the opposite. You came here. Because errand bans are red flags. Exactly. I can't seem to get banned in any channel. That's a good thing, my friend. Welcome, Carpe. Sure, I came here, but why you pointed it out straight away? Because it's a red flag. You were banned from Lumiru, okay? Lumiru and $27. Like that's pretty. That's a pretty suspect ban already, as it is. Because if you do things, dude, your beanie can be a red flag. Okay. True. However, yeah, obviously, if you're a lefty content creator and you're getting banned from, like, as Carpet just said, one of the most wholesome channels, wholesome people on the platform, that kind of sends red flags, dude. Because that only happens if you're suspect. Anyways.
So the attorney for the National Labor Relations Board is now proposing that if there is a delay of a certain...
Hey, Heat, how's it going? I'll tell you why I'm being banned. Oh, that might make things easier. Go ahead. Actually, you know what? That would make things a lot easier. You know what? Share with the class. Trump already gave an anti-union speech video about electric cars? Not surprised. I think that all Ukraine supporters are war pigs and they should all be banned instead.
Certain amount by management to actually engage in good faith in contract negotiations, then a contract...
Well, good thing this isn't your channel.
That gets imposed because it constitutes an unfair labor practice. I mean, this stuff, you can argue that it's marginal and incremental in some ways, but you cannot argue that there is no difference between an administration that...
That's not controversial, so I assume you would shut up and that's really why you were banned. Probably, but I feel like if I let them keep going, I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll come back. Maybe they'll come back. We'll see. That's the real test. Normally, like, depends, because, like, if they're actual trolls, they'll come back after the timeout. But if they're trolls, they'll get bored and move on. So we'll see.
That does that. And the most reasonable of Republican candidates, Tim Scott, at a campaign event in Duncan, South Carolina, talking about the problem with the UAW fight is that people don't like to work.
One of my buddies, prayer partner of mine, spent his entire career.
I mean, like, so this is coming off like the other comments of basically saying that, like, if he was in the position of power, he would be advocating for the workers to be fired. So this is on top of that.
Without a college degree working at Nucor Steel. And their pay structure took him over 6 figures, several years, because he got paid for his work. The harder he worked, not only did he get luckier, but he got more money. And that's...
Can you pause it? I'm sorry. No, that's not it at all. It's because of the contracts won, probably. But I mean, I'm not sure if this friend that he's talking about is a member of a union, but it was because of the previous contract and the cost of living adjustment, which was won by the UAW in the 70s, done away with in the financial collapse because the workers were asked to basically take a haircut, and now the rest of the executives are not returning to those cost of living adjustment, which was promised to them, and they're just taking massive bonuses. So, like, it's just the mythology of this all, that it was just his friend's hard work as opposed to the contracts secured by his union, at least in theory. It just makes me angry, but...
Straight facts. Joe Biden's infrastructure bill really...
Thank you, Emma. Yeah, of course. Emma dropping the facts.
Several years, because he got paid for his work. The harder he worked, not only did he get luckier, but he got more money.
Also, like, luck shouldn't be a factor of whether or not you get paid. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Yeah, you see, like, this is exactly what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking, that Biden had said straight facts, and we have some queer facts for a change. But all right, hey, see, this is what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure that this guy with opinions, and the other fucking clown are the same account. which is, to my understanding, that's called ban evasion. So yeah, I can see how this was happening. I can't believe someone who doesn't support Ukraine here unconditionally. My wife's boyfriend gives me an allowance every week, and I've saved enough to buy a Ukrainian girl only. Okay, all right, cool. Never mind. I that's my mistake. I didn't read the whole thing. Anyways, I didn't read the whole thing. Everybody can just ignore the previous comment that I just said.
And that's a recipe. It's a formula that we should be using all across the country, not just in South Carolina, but all across the nation. And we're watching today on every screen around the country. We're seeing
the trolls are doing comedy now. Yeah, I completely misread that. I completely misread that. Unless it's all sarcasm and these people are actually the same account. It's just weird that they both came in back to back. I timed out originally this person, and then like literally moments afterwards the other account came. So I don't know. It could all just be one I don't know. It doesn't matter. Trolls will be dealt with.
UAW fight for more benefits and less hours working, more pay and fewer days on the job. It's a disconnect from work, and we have to find a way to encourage and inspire people to go back to work. And
here's a thought. You know what's incredibly inspiring to get people to work? Take a guess, chat. You know what's incredibly inspiring to get people to work? It's really simple. It's really simple. Do you know? Do you know what's incredibly inspirational to get people to work? Not firing them? Yeah, but there's something more specific. Autonomy? No. I mean, yeah, but no. There's one specific thing. Pay them money. Damn, which is exactly the reason why these UAW workers are striking. Because while CEOs get enormous fucking bonuses, they can't even keep up with like the inflation. Their pay doesn't keep up with the cost of like increasing inflation and whatnot, and increasing cost of living. But yes, the answer is pay them. That is a phenomenal source of inspiration to get people to go back to work.
That as your president, we would have a nationwide sea to shining sea focus on you pick the type of work, but if you're able-bodied, you're going to work.
Okay, so let's be clear. The car industry has made tens of billions of dollars. How does one measure hard work? Like, I mean, does Tim Scott work hard? Do we work hard here? Do we work harder than than someone who's working in a factory?
The people that own shares, do they work hard?
Do they work? I mean,
that's what they'd say. That's what they would say. It's reflective in their compensation because they have like a basically fundamentalist view of the market that's like almost religious in nature, and you are rewarded with prosperity if you are the hard worker, if you are the godly worker.
But my point is, how do we measure hard work?
Yeah.
How do we measure? I mean, if you measure it based upon productivity, and you measure, and productivity is measured in terms of like how much revenue, how much profits is derived from the product that they're building. The UAW is looking for, when they come up with that 40% number, it is a function of how much success these car companies have had.
Correct.
What other way are you going to measure working hard? It's a bait and switch here. That's all he's talking about. This is just his excuse for his and his prayer partner to pretend that the people in the car factories are not working hard.
Right, because the actual negotiations being how much money is going to go to people for owning parts of this company and how much is going to go to the actual workers of it.
Exactly.
And part of what they're also striking over is the tiered system, which is exactly meant to undercut the dynamic that he's talking. I mean, he pretends it's like just his friend working hard and then getting luckier. I have no idea what that means, but like...
Yeah, like also, again, luck has nothing... Luck shouldn't be a factor as to whether or not you get paid and whether or not you can put food on the table, question mark? So that was a really weird statement.
Part of what is beautiful about the solidarity right now in the UAW is that some of the workers hired more recently are on a lower tier and they cannot get off that track. They cannot get the benefits that are provided or given to the more senior people working in these factories in the UAW because of, again, contracts secured by the union.
This two-tier system, incidentally, on Friday we had Shantae Sanders Beasley on, who is a UAW worker at the Stellantis stamping plant in Warren, Michigan. And she says that, speaking of working hard, in this two-tier system, you got someone standing right next to you doing the exact same job, and getting paid significantly less than you, and on a much slower trajectory in terms of getting paid. So the idea that this is in any way tethered to how hard to work and this and that, no. And this is the same guy, Tim Scott, would be making the same argument when the union was arguing like 40-hour work week.
Been detached from work.
Yeah, that's your problem.
Attached to our lives.
You're detached from work.
The weekend as well.
That's what's great about Fein is like we need more of our lives back in addition to how much we're giving these companies. And just to double back on like the rail strike thing, because Jimmy Dore mentioned it in his blow up with Cornel West. He mentioned the breaking of the rail strike as an element of Biden fascism. And I think the rail strike shouldn't have been broken, but the truth is just fairly obvious that the Democrats have a one-sided transactional relationship with labor. Republicans have an adversarial one. Because you look at now a lot of those companies, and it is piecemeal, but there has been sick days accomplished because there is that relationship, even though it's not as dictatorial as we might want it to be.
Yep.
Based. Turns out they weren't funny. They came in at me in whispers, like a weaker version of Mythic. All right, like, yeah, hey, listen, folks, to the clowns, if you're starting to like whisper people that don't want to be whispered, like, do not whisper anybody. Okay, that's like an automatic ban. Yeah, do not whisper people. Okay, that's like inappropriate. Yeah, nobody wants to hear it. They're trying to tell me conservatives have better sex. Oh God. Oh man, send them that Ben Shapiro video, okay? Oh God, not the Ben Shapiro clip where, oh God, poor. I really feel bad for like Ben Shapiro's wife. Jesus. And by the way, there's actually studies on this. So I mean, they can cope all they want. They can cope all they want. Objectively speaking, we've done the math on this. Okay. UAW strike. All right, let's finish off this topic here. White House is no longer going to send the top officials to Detroit for UAW strike talks. The Biden administration is no longer sending the two key officials this week potentially to help broker a deal, and again with the auto workers and the big three. White House official told NBC News President Biden said that he would dispatch the White House senior advisor Sperling and Labor Secretary Sue to support the discussions between the companies and the unions, but the White House and the UAW mutually agreed it would be better to speak virtually in Zoom. So basically, they did this with the by going to the union, and they both agreed. So basically, they will do this virtually. They could still go to Detroit next week, but there's no firm plans to do for them to do so. We'll continue to assess travel timing based on the active state of negotiations. Biden largely sided with the striking auto workers. In an address on Friday, the president called on Ford and GM and Stellantis to share record profits with their workers. Despite that, Biden has received a relatively cold reception from the UAW. Union's president, Sean Fain, told MSNBC that he does not see a major role for the White House in resolving this dispute. Nice. This battle is not about the president, it's not about the former or any other person prior to that. This battle is about the workers standing up for economic and social justice and getting their fair share because they're fed up with going backwards. Based! Nearly 13,000 UAW members are on strike at key 3 plants in Michigan, Missouri, and Ohio. It's the first time the union has targeted all 3 automakers at the same time, which, by the way, I think Sean Fain has also said that in 3 days' time, there could be potentially more strikes if the companies refuse to play ball. Then they're not playing around. The union is not fucking around, and they will authorize more strikes. Fain said late Monday, yesterday, the UAW would launch additional strikes. Oh yeah, okay, I should have just read this. At more Ford, GM, and Stellantis plants if serious progress is not made by midday Friday, which is a couple days from now. Auto workers have waited long enough to make things right at the big 3. We're not waiting around, and we're not messing around. So noon at Friday, September 22nd is a new deadline. So basically, these the big 3 are rapidly approaching the level 10 of effing around. So come Friday, they might actually find out. We'll see. Biden, who often touts his middle-class upbringing, has sought to closely associate himself with the labor movement, but the strikes could test the president's commitment to organized labor. If the work stoppages expand and threaten broader economic disruption, as he seeks, I hate when they freaking structure it in this way, like as if like basically like, oh well, I don't know what the president's gonna have to do if he finds himself, in a economic disruption that could like mess up the economy. Okay, so then talk to the fucking companies who are greedy and hoarding all these record profits to the tune of tens of billions of dollars. That's the correct response here. Not try to frame it as if like, well, if the workers decide that they're going to withhold labor, then, that's going to be bad for the economy. I hate it. And it's not just unique to like CNBC or whatever. A lot of mainstream media loves to frame like this type of stuff in this way. They did it with the rail strike too. Every time this happens, they love to phrase it or word it or structure it as like the workers are causing the broader economic disruption. Former President Trump had called on the UAW to endorse his 2024 bid to retake the presidency while at the same time attacking union leadership. Trump is planning to skip the GOP primary and debate and instead go into Detroit to speak with union members. Okay. All right, let's shift gears here. And some good news. Pennsylvania rolls out automatic voter registration. Nice. Honestly, this is pretty freaking good. This is a pretty freaking good idea. It should be par for the course everywhere. Eligible voters getting a new driver's license or ID in Pennsylvania will now automatically be registered to vote. Governor Shapiro, a Democrat, announced the change on Tuesday, touting it as good for democracy. Yes. Automatic voter registration is a common sense step to ensure election security and save Pennsylvania time and tax dollars. Residents of our Commonwealth already provide proof of identity, residency, age, and citizenship at the DMV. all the information required to register to vote, so it makes good sense to streamline that process with voter registration. True. True. Pennsylvania becomes the 24th state to implement automatic voter registration, according to a tally from the National Conference of State Legislatures. Automatic voter registration simplifies this process, simplifies the voter registration process, and requires voters to opt out if they want to stay off the rolls. That's perfect. Honestly, that's probably the best way to do it, and like it should be done this way everywhere. Because if you already have to present the information and documents needed to register to vote anyways, it should automatically register you to vote, period. Previously, voters in Pennsylvania were offered the option to register while getting a driver's license, a process that involved 19 screens of questions. Now they'll automatically be taken through 11 questions during the ID process, according to Manuel Bonder, the spokesperson for the governor. Nice. The measure also helps election officials keep their voter rolls tidy by allowing voters to update their registration during that same process. Americans have been able to register to vote at a state motor vehicle agency since the federal law required it in 1993. Since then, nearly half of all states and the District of Columbia have made this process automatic. As a candidate, Shapiro campaigned as a democracy defender, and his democracy policy plan including implemented automatic voter registration. Nice. Nice. Well, good on Pennsylvania. I mean, like, this is just an example of, like, the stark difference between, like, you know, Republicans being in power and Democrats, right? Because, like, man, like, Democrats are cringy and often lacking. But the difference really stands out in instances like this. We automatically register when we file our taxes. Nice. Off topic, moderate Republican Susan Collins threatens to wear a bikini on the floor of the Senate to protest Senate. Wait, what? Is that real? Is that real? Susan Collins is threatening to wear a bikini on the floor? Like, because all these people, these, like, right-wing people got, like, all up in an uproar because John Fetterman is wearing like shorts and a hoodie or something like that. Wow, like I don't know, like is it like a requirement to pass laws that you have to be dressed in a suit? I don't know, like is the suit like what makes your job as a lawmaker like possible? I don't understand. Like me as a very laid back and laxed person, first of all, I hate like mandatory like dress codes. I think it's silly. But yeah, like somebody in the Senate or in Congress who is literally just passing laws or passing legislation. I mean, it makes no difference whether or not he's wearing a hoodie or he's wearing like a suit. I don't know. Just cover your stuff. True. True. And like apparently now that's all discourse. Apparently that's like a really big like part of discourse here. But like honestly, I don't care. I don't care. If you're wearing like gym shorts and a hoodie and like you're still passing legislation, I'm pretty sure you're just doing your job and it doesn't prohibit you from doing your job. Then yeah, okay, whatever. I don't care. I really don't care. Oh my god. Well, this just came on my timeline. Our workplace had a business formal Monday, business casual week and casual Friday. Now it's just loose business casual. I mean, like, I'm gonna be honest, I hate all that. When I used to have to go into the office and whatnot, like, it was business, like, casual, I think, is like the standard, like, uniform. There wasn't like colors like you had to wear or logo shirts or whatever. But still, I was like, I hate it. I hate it. Jeans and Hawaiian t-shirts. So I came back. Am I a legit troll now? We'll see. We shall see. There are more important issues. Right, like, mostly jeans and a polo. Yeah, but like, I don't know. I'm good wearing sweatpants. I'm wearing sweatpants, a t-shirt, and a comfy jacket. That's like my go-to, depending on the temperature. Or just like basketball shorts and a t-shirt if it's like warm. But yeah, the temperature is kind of like, it's slowly starting to drop. So I can wear sweatpants now. And I can wear my my jackets more often. It baffles me that you think you have cracked the code for the internet. I never claimed to do so, question mark. I don't know what that means. Anyways, work at home, underwear optional. No, I think it's a requirement if you have to if you have to do a Zoom meeting. Oh, well, I guess you could, like, position the camera. I don't know. It's just, okay. I don't know, but, like, if I'm in a Zoom meeting, I'm still gonna have some type of, like, comfy shorts. I'm still gonna have some kind of comfy shorts or sweatpants. B-ball, training shorts, sock fit running shoes, t-shirt and hoodie or track jacket are my standard. Nice. I'd say pants are optional, but you do you. I mean, like, pants can be optional if you're like just hanging about in the house. So we talk politics, or you want me to go on and not in the mood? I mean, the entire channel is politics. You okay? You good? Anyways, this came upon my feed, unfortunately.
Really, I say that maybe the single most really, I say that maybe the single most important reason that we're moving to having a small monthly payment. Really, I say that maybe the single most important reason that we're moving to having a small monthly payment for use of the X system is it's the only way I can think of to combat vast armies of bots, because a bot costs a fraction of a penny, call it a tenth of a penny. But if somebody even has to pay, you know, a few dollars or something, some minor amount, the effective cost of bots is very high, and then you also have to get a new payment method every.
This is bullshit, by the way. Charging to use Twitter, yeah, F this guy. True. Like, if this guy like starts if this guy starts to like unironically charge for Twitter, I literally will not pay. I'm not giving this guy a fucking penny. I'm not giving this guy a single penny. Who needs a Blue Sky invite? For real, if anybody has like Blue Sky invites and they need one, like, just share it about. Just share it about. He bought Twitter because he's mad his kid is trans, right? And now his kid hates him for good reasons. Israel ordered a new game plan for him. What does that mean? Can you elaborate on that?
Time you have a new bot, so that actually, the constraint of how many different, you know, credit cards you can find even on the dark web or whatever, and then so prioritizing posts that are written by basically ex-premium subscribers, and we're actually going to come out with a lower tier pricing. So it's, you know, we want it to be just a small amount of money. This is and it's a longer discussion, but in my view, this is actually the only defense against vast armies of bots.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's really not. What a fucking clown. Elon wants X to be a financial transaction platform with a comment section, basically. I love Elon. There's nothing to love about him. He's a pretty, like, disgusting person. Like, just as a human being, he's pretty disgusting. Anyways. What does Elon do? He abuses power, and he's an oligarch. Like, are you an oligarch? Because if not, then his interests and your interests have nothing to do with each other. Anyways, fuck that guy. Fuck Elon. He does nothing for society except, extract wealth. That's it. All while elevating the far right, too. Honestly, I'm willing to put up with Elon if he can end fossil fuel usage in everyday life. He's not really 100% about that. But, yeah. And again, just to be clear, it's not him doing any of this. I like him because he brought back free speech to Twitter. He didn't. He didn't. Did you not listen to him? Did you not listen to, like, literally what he said? That he wants to make sure, that you have to pay to be able to have Twitter. He actually doesn't believe in free speech. Because he's gonna try to make it so that you have to charge. They just got clapped by PosadaBot in my channel for the 10 plus threshold. Jesus. That's one messed up fairy, yeah, I know. Eventually it happens. I know he's a face for companies, so they don't need to advertise. Yep. Alright, so anyways, yeah, Elon's fucking horrible. Elon's horrible. Who's surprised by this, folks? Giuliani's former lawyer is suing him for $1.36 million in unpaid legal fees. Rudy Giuliani's ex-lawyers are suing the former New York City mayor for failing to pay legal fees amounting to $1.36 million. They charge while representing him in numerous controversies, several of them related to Trump's efforts to overturn the election. Robert Costello, a longtime friend of Giuliani, and his law firm Davidoff, Hutcher and Citron LLP, filed the complaint on Monday in the state court in Manhattan. The new lawsuit adds to the list of legal troubles. Talk about what happened in New Mexico. What happened in New Mexico, and second of all, I can talk about whatever I want. Question mark? I'm sorry, I didn't realize this was your stream. I'm sorry, do you want to come up here and get the chair? It's probably hard for people now to understand just how well liked Rudy was 20 years ago. Yep. Hey, Carpet Packs rating with a party of 8. Thank you so much. Welcome everybody. Welcome. Thank you, Carpe. I appreciate that. Welcome, folks. If you haven't seen me before, I am A Difficult Truth. I do the news, I do the politics Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. If you enjoy your stay, don't forget to hit the follow button. Also, if you haven't done so as well, make sure you go to twitch.tv/carpetpacks. Go show them some love. But yes, that's true, the simulacra. Anyways. America's mayor. The new lawsuit adds to the list of legal troubles the former Trump lawyer has had to pay his way through. That was a weird sentence. Giuliani faces charges in Georgia, surrendering to police at Fulton County Jail last month over charges that he helped conspire with Trump to overthrow the election by lying to state legislators and spreading election fraud misinformation. A week later, a federal judge ruled that he was liable for defaming 2 Georgia election workers. Whew. I mean, like, who would have thought that, like, the dude working for arguably one of the most notorious con men known in America ends up being the same kind of type of person. I mean, like, if Rudy Giuliani is 1.36 in the hole for unpaid legal fees, I wonder, like, how much is how much is the case for Trump? America's curdled mayo. How much is Trump in the hole for in terms of legal fees? Because, like, we all know, like, Trump has a massive history of, like, not paying his bills. So yeah, oof. Now his old counsel is turning against him, accusing him of not paying up all the money he owes them for representing him throughout these legal battles. Giuliani has already paid the firm which he employed on a retainer agreement that it alleges he broke. $214,000 was his last payment made on September 14th in the amount of $10,000 according to the filing. In total, the firm has charged him $1.57 million from 2019 to 2023, and counting. And also, all of this, and Rudy Giuliani might still see prison time. And there's a chance that this guy's actually going to see prison time or conviction. I can't express how personally I'm hurt I am by what Bob Casella has done, said Rudy Giuliani. It's a real shame when lawyers do things like this, and all I would say is that their bill is way in excess to anything approaching legitimate fees. I mean, you can argue that, but you agreed to pay that. Isn't the retainer a contract that you agreed to? I'm sorry, like, he's a lawyer, right? What is a retainer for a lawyer? Wait, so you agree a retainer, like, just to, like, get the complete definition and understanding, like, a retainer is a fee that you pay up front. So, like, you agree to pay this because you're going to get services at a future time because you're going to need them. That's why you hold a lawyer and retainer, right? Luckily with Trump, I assume the lawyers at some point represent Giuliani are just kind of bad at lawyering, so when they sue, they're going to have a hard time making their case. Oh, man. Just a small-time lawyer. Yeah. Insider first reported on this lawsuit on Monday. While Trump has millions of dollars in various pots to help fund his legal battles, including a notable amount coming from his campaign accounts, i.e. the sheep he's fleecing, the former mayor does not. Since he left office, Rudy Giuliani has made money with various consulting and law ventures, but after he helped represent Trump in court as the former president sought to overturn the 2020 results, a New York state suspended his law license in a potential harbinger for financial troubles. Giuliani put his $6.5 million apartment on the market this summer, as his lawyers claim in court that he's close to broke. He currently hosts a podcast called Common Sense and a daily radio show. Oh man, yeah, this is pathetic. This is pretty pathetic. Zionism is. Can you elaborate that? Can you elaborate on that? I need clarification. What does that mean? If you don't want to clarify, I'm just gonna ban you, because this is the second time I have to ask this question. I'm not gonna ask a third time. What are you talking about? Can you elaborate on that? Like, what does that mean? Zionism isn't working too well for him now. Oh, so you don't want to explain. Okay, yeah, don't worry. Don't let the door hit. You know what? Let me help you with that. Let me help you with that. There you go. Yikes. Fucking Nazis, man. Fucking Nazis. Clown show indeed. I'm pretty sure the circus ended early today because we've had quite the amount of clowns today. Retainers have some flexibility. It's like a deposit that reserves their interest and covers some of the expected amount of work if they have a reason to perform the work for you. If my assumption is that if you retain the lawyer in a case and then you notify them that you didn't want them to do any more work before you're done, then you would get that remainder of the retainer back. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Hold on. It's just so hard to shift through all this nonsense. Oh yeah, holy shit, it's true. Look. Is it just me, or does that feel like super freaking anti-Semitic, folks? Like, is it just me, or is that like... Is that just freaking like... fucking like 4chan posting? Like... If you were to show me this on 4chan, like... Honestly, I it wouldn't surprise me. It's quite blatant, it is. Yeah, like, this is some, like, 4chan shit. We're approaching 4chan levels of fucking posting by the former president and currently the fucking front runner of the Republican Party. Yeah. Who's currently also at this point in time tied with Joe Biden. Yeah. Yeah, this is not just racist. This is like some Nazi shit. And like they end this with like they end this with the real punchline, right? Like this has to be fucking some like 4chan shit. Quote, clearly one of the greatest anti-Semites of our time. They say it in sarcasm, but yeah. Whew. Yeah. Yeah, this one's pretty bad. I saw this on like another like Twitter account, so I had to like go back and like search it. But yeah, this is pretty freaking bad. You're so misinformed, it's scary, bro. Instead of just like saying stuff, why don't you like make an argument? Okay? Because like you're just saying things. It doesn't mean anything. I don't care. Unless you have like some type of argument to present, like it literally that means nothing to me. You're so misinformed. So make an argument. Don't tell me. Anyways. I mean, it kind of tracks, right? Because you just ban people. Okay, so you're not making an argument, so I don't care what you say. So I literally have no inclination to care what you say. Cool, thanks. Glad we cleared that up. Hey Bond, how's it going? This channel hosts more trolls and lets them blather on for so long it's not even funny. True. No one can accuse me of like, you see, like it's just so bizarre because like I always listen and I always like push back on whatever clowns decide to show up here. Yet at the end of the day, it's like my channel. So yeah, like if I wanted to ban people just to ban them, I can. Like if I literally just made a rule right now that I'm just gonna ban everybody who types the word blue. I can do that because it's my fucking channel. Okay? So just to be clear, just so that like it's understood for the trolls who can't seem to grasp that concept. Yeah, like if I were to make a rule today that people can't say the word blue, I can do that. You know, if in fact if tomorrow I start streaming about like video games, I can do that too, you know, because it's my channel. You can rename the channel Right Wing Band Factory, right? And like the only thing I do is just like literally the only purpose of the channel is for me to live stream, hit the live button, and then every person in chat, I would just ban them. Every single person they type, and then I just ban them. But the First Amendment, true. Whatever gives you a hard on. You know what gives me a hard on? An argument. You still haven't given me an argument. You're just blathering on. You're just blabbering about nothing. Like, if you're not gonna come here to make an argument, then nobody should care about what you have to say. Does that make sense? Unless you just like to read your own words, nobody cares unless you're actually gonna come here to make an argument. Otherwise, like, I don't care. I don't care. I really don't. Anywho. But my freedoms. True. I, the government, because I'm obviously the government. I'm infringing on people's free speech. Anyways. I ban people quicker, but ADT is a good channel. Thank you. You see, like I'm a merciful God. Okay. California sues oil companies claiming that they downplayed the risk of fossil fuels. This is the article that I wanted to go over yesterday, but I did not have the time. I'd ban Restream bot. Why? What did the bot do to you? What did the bot do to you? The bot is just there so we're all connected. The bot's just botting. So this is the it reposted an idiot. That is true. That is a bannable offense. Are you Jewish? Oh no, no, no. Here we go, folks. Damn. Here we go. Am I Jewish? It doesn't matter if I am or not. Jason Sims is hard, folks. There it is. Yeah, like this is I mean, it didn't take long, right? It didn't take long, right? Maybe declare your channel its own country and change the diploma to your own constitution. True. What diploma? There's a diploma up there. There's a diploma. Believe it or not, it's kind of small on the screen. It's kind of small because I don't want to like waste too much real estate. But the diploma, here, I'll read it. I'll read it out. I got it on my, computer here. The diploma is that apparently it was, it doesn't matter, but it would make sense. Yeah, of course, you know, fucking Nazis and all. I'm pretty sure this is probably the same fucking Nazi that was in chat earlier who didn't want to answer the question. But yeah, pretty sure this was the same fucking Nazi. Yeah, fuck off. Nobody gives a shit, Nazi. It takes zero effort to not JQ. Yep. But like Nazis, right? Did I just come for the fun? Yeah, like literally just like I'm pretty sure it's the same fucking clown that was here in the Twitch chat and they got banned because they refused to answer the question because like I can already sense the fucking like Nazi vibes. So I gave them one opportunity to explain themselves what they meant. Obviously they're talking about the Jews. It's the JQ. That's what they were trying to do. And so I banned them. And now I think they just decided to. And like, also, why would you make your YouTube name, your YouTube username, your name? Like, Jason Sims? Why would you do that? Jason Sims? Why would you make your YouTube, like, comment, why would you comment Nazi shit like that? Names with underscores are back? Maybe. I don't know how he, like, posted it on his YouTube, but, like, here, it comes up with, it comes up just like that. No shame. No shame at all. How's it going, Memo? Anyways, the what a fool, exactly. Like, you're posting shit, you're posting Nazi shit with your name, presumably, or if it's a false name, then fine. But, like, why would you use a name? That just seems kind of... well, nobody ever said Nazis were smart, okay? So anyways, to answer your question, the diploma is for passing the Advanced International School of Bullshit Detection, and apparently this was awarded to me on June 11th of the year 2049. So this is actually from the future. Yeah, that's what this is about. Also, because I think because of Twitch's new, like, security update or whatever, if you ban someone from your channel, they can't message you, they can't DM you or whisper you, whatever it's called. So I think that because they can't because they can't, like, message me about how I'm Jewish or whatever, they decided to, I guess, go on their YouTube channel and do that. Also, no, I'm not Jewish. But yeah, just Nazi shit. Check LinkedIn, true. And, like, all these messages are saved. I can go back and look at the history of messages. Like, I don't understand, like, why people need to feel the need to do this nowadays. It's just like, dude, why? I actually forgot my LinkedIn. Whatever. Whatever, that's too much effort. Anyways. I can't get signed in either. I don't know. I don't use LinkedIn that much, to be fair. Wonder if we could find their place of employment. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure that if you really wanted to, you probably could, but, like, that sounds like a lot of effort. That sounds like a lot of effort for, like, a Nazi. Just mind that if you're gonna play stupid games, you get stupid rewards. True, especially using a fucking name on your fucking account. A very public chat where everybody can see, like, who you are. Like, okay, it's just... Nobody ever said that Nazis were smart, right? I don't know, man. Like, just maybe, like, take into consideration, like, what you do. Because, like, everything that you do online is pretty, like, public and open. So just, like, I don't know. Not do Nazi shit? Anyways. It just makes no sense. California sues oil company claiming that they downplayed the risk of fossil fuels. California has filed a lawsuit against some of the world's largest oil and gas companies, claiming that they deceived the public and downplayed the risk posed by fossil fuels. The civil lawsuit filed in the state superior court in San Francisco also seeks creation of a fund financed by the companies to pay for recovery efforts after devastating storms and fires. Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom said in a statement that the companies named in the lawsuit, ExxonMobil, Shell, Chevron, ConocoPhillips, and BP, should be held accountable. For more than 50 years, Big Oil has been lying to us, covering up the fact that they've long known how dangerous the fossil fuels they produce are for our planet. California taxpayers shouldn't have to foot the bill for billions of dollars in damages, wildfires wiping out entire communities, toxic smoke clogging our air, deadly heat waves, record-breaking droughts, and parching our wells. The 135-page complaint argues that the companies have known since at least the 1960s that the burning of fossil fuels would warm the planet and change the climate, but they downplayed the looming threat in public statements and marketing. Yes, I mean, we've known this for decades, right? Like, at the very least from the 60s, with their own research. Nationalize them, yes. Ideally, that's what should have happened, but, you know. It said the company's scientists knew as far back as the 1950s that climate impacts would be catastrophic and that there was only a narrow window of time which communities and governments could respond. Instead, the lawsuit said that the companies mounted a disinformation campaign beginning at least as early as the 70s to discredit a growing scientific consensus on climate change and disputed climate change-related risks. The American Petroleum Institute and an industry group named in the lawsuit said climate policy should be debated in Congress, not the courtroom. The reason why they say that is because they know that they have Congress. They know that they're they know that they have Congress lobbied and bought and paid for. That's why. Okay. The first climate movement was the ecology movement in 1973. They were reaching to that, reacting to that. Yep. This ongoing coordinated campaign to wage meritless and politicized lawsuits against a foundational American industry and its workers is nothing more. Yeah, get out of here. Get out of here. It's nothing more than a distraction for important national conversations at enormous waste of California taxpayer resource, said Institute Senior Vice President Ryan Myers. That was echoed in a statement from Shell, which said the courtroom is not the proper venue to address global warming. Says the fox in the hen house? What? Addressing climate change requires a collaborative society-wide approach, which you are currently hindering because you don't want regulations. You don't want to change. You've acknowledged the fact that you knew about this for decades. So, now what? We're at the crossroads here where time is of the essence. We agree that action is needed now on climate change, and we fully support the need for society to transition to a lower carbon future. But you're not putting that action behind those words. All of this is corporate speak. It means nothing. California's legal action joined similar lawsuits filed by states and municipalities in recent years. California's suit adds to the growing momentum to hold Big Oil accountable for decades of deception and secure access to justice for people and communities suffering from fossil fuel extreme weather and slow onset disasters such as sea level rise, said Kathy Mulvey, the Union of Concerned Scientists. Addressing the legal action, California State Attorney General Rob Bonta said in a statement that companies have fed us lies and mistruths to further their record-breaking profits at the expense of our environment. Enough is enough. True. Biden needs to declare climate change a national emergency. Ideally, that's what he should have done a long time ago. Unfortunately, he has not and doesn't seem to want to do that. Meanwhile, like Trump, just to like, I don't know, satiate his like racist base, will declare a national emergency at the border. But somehow an actual national emergency, we get crickets. It's needing to throw the brakes on a runaway train, but we're debating whether to keep the feeding the furnace or not. Correct. Yeah, that's probably a good way of describing it. Like, instead of pumping the brakes, we're like debating on how much, like, of how fast we need to keep fueling the coal train, the steam engine or whatever. It's too late. Well, I don't know if it's quote unquote too late. However, it's to the point where our inaction will make it so. But for real, our inaction now, because like keep in mind that like the ramifications of our decisions, or rather indecisions, we're not gonna really understand that until like maybe 10 years from now, right? And like the problem is that the decisions or indecisions that we do or don't do now, it's going to be shown in 10 years, maybe less, but it's the point I'm making. The point I'm making is like how much time we create is up to the decisions we make or not make now. And of course, the end goal is to try to minimize and remediate the damage. It's how big of an extension we will create. I mean, it's about mitigation. We're not avoiding we're not avoiding the climate crisis. It's not something that we can avoid. It's already here. It's already happening. The point is, like Heat said, is to try to pump the brakes on this thing and try to mitigate the damage at the end. So like it works on a sliding scale, where if we don't do anything, we're going to get the really, really, really bad, like worst case scenario, like the catastrophic scenario. But if we start pumping the brakes immediately, then maybe we'll fall just under it. It'll be less. And it's something that we should be striving for, regardless. We're going to have to watch tens or hundreds of thousands of people die in climate-related disasters if we ourselves survive. Yeah, I mean, we're already watching like thousands of people. How many people died in like floods that happened in China and Pakistan? Was it India? I'm sorry. Was it India? I can't remember, but like a lot of friggin' people died. A lot of freaking people died. How many people have died of heat? Strokes and heat-related illnesses. How many people have died of 6,000 and maybe tens of thousands missing. Who knows? That's right. How many people have died from the wildfires? And just the most recent example that's here, the Lahaina fires. A lot. It was like over 1,000 people in just one incident. I say stop everything. They'll have to change or let the human race wither away and let the earth flourish. I mean, it's really that's pretty much the choices. Fun fact: Sean Haynes just posted a Samuel L. Jackson meme. Nice. That's not gonna happen. So we're gonna see things get worse and worse. That's probably what's gonna end up happening, realistically speaking. But it doesn't mean that we stop fighting. We do what we can with the tools we have, with the time that we have. I'm fine with that, but I don't plan to have offspring. Why don't I completely respect that. Allegations in the lawsuit include faulting the companies for creating or contributing to climate change in California, false advertising, damage to natural resources, unlawful business practices for deceiving the public about climate change, which all tracks. Rich Wiles, the president of the Center for Climate Integrity, said in a statement that California's decision to take on big oil to court is a watershed moment in the rapidly expanding legal fight to hold major polluters accountable for decades of climate lies. Californians have been living in a climate emergency caused by the fossil fuel industry, and now the state is taking decisive action to make those polluters pay. Yeah, I mean, like, all this is part of, is necessary. We're gonna have to literally do that, put putting our bodies on the gears and levers so the machine is prevented from working at all. Like Mario Savio said. Yeah, I mean, it's probably gonna end up. Well, no, it's not. It's gonna necessitate something to that effect. Because it's not going to change otherwise. It doesn't seem like anybody at the decision level is willing or is currently being paid to not care, or is just oblivious, or is already bought and paid for, or just genuinely doesn't feel like it's important. Whatever the reason is, the point being is that the people at the decision the people at the decision-making levels of power are not remotely close to doing what they need to be doing. So there's only one option if that continues. Else, yeah. The class war is one-sided. It needs a counteroffensive, like I keep saying. I agree. There's a spectrum of empathy, and those with low empathy don't even have the capacity to care about the climate. True. They care about it if it impacts them, bottom line. Right, but they believe that it won't. They believe that their money, their wealth, and their status will get them out of it. Like, oh, you know, so what? I'll just buy another house in the mountains or something. Or like, oh, my house got on fire? Well, like, I'll just like move. You know, like they genuinely believe that their wealth and their status will save them. But the reality is it won't. It won't. Or they believe that Jesus will. Yes, genuinely. In fact, the more fundamentalists actually believe that it's fine. Actually, climate change is just part of that plan. So they've kind of rationalized it into this like. They kind of like rationalized it and made like this death cult even worse. By saying that actually, yeah, like climate change is actually just like it's fine. It's actually supposed to be happening this way because we're gonna get raptured, and yeah, and that's it. Like these, whoo boy, or pad the insurance claims. Yep, those people are dangerous, 100%, because there's no logic to it. It's all fundamentalist fervor. It's a cult. It's a literal death cult. But yeah. Representative Nancy Mason is very unhappy with Kevin McCarthy. I don't feel like he was. I don't like feeling like I was misled. I mean, meh. I'll be honest. I don't really have any sympathy for the GOP. They knew what they were getting themselves into when running the clown show. They set that circus up. Okay, those are their clowns. They set that circus up. So, oh well. All right, folks. I gotta get going. It is dinner time. Folks, if you enjoyed the content and want to help the channel, make sure you hit the follow button. It really does help us out. If you can't support us monetarily, please go on over to the YouTube channel, hit the big red subscribe button. It really does help us out. Thank you to Carpet Packs for the raid. Thank you, Alio, for the biddies. I appreciate that. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you for all the subs, biddies, follows, all that. You guys are what makes this channel grow. As always, we'll be here tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you spread the word far and wide. We do the news, we do the politics, 5 p.m. Thank you again for the raid. I appreciate that. Couple of shout outs, twitch.tv/carpet packs and twitch.tv/Alio share as well. Thank you, Heat. Thank you, Michael Hasser, for keeping the chat chill. I appreciate it. As always, folks, who pushed Mitch McConnell down those stairs is what I want to know. I don't know. He's kind of old. I think Mitch McConnell got Mitch McConnell. Thank you. I appreciate it. As always, folks, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. See ya. Thank you, Echo Rusted Dragon. Appreciate it. Oh, look at that. It's 4:20 on your end. Hang tight, folks. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya.